Hello, today is May 20th, and I wanted to talk about a couple of significant events that I have associated with this day. Um, the first is a pleasant event, the second is a not so pleasant event, but both are significant in a way. Um, and I have a feeling this date, certain dates, I mean, certain dates have significance, whether in some deeper cultural sense, or sometimes just in a personal way, and sometimes they intersect. I don't know. I have feelings about this day, 520. Um, this seems like a day that is significant in some way, uh, and it's partly because of my memories of this day, which I will now detail. First memory I have, and this is going to seem like not a really incredibly important thing, but it goes way back to 2005. I had finished teaching a year of remedial English in a public high school in a certain county in the state of Georgia, which I will not name here. But it was a rough year. It was a very trying year, for all of the reasons you can imagine. And it was a year I just had tunnel vision. I just thought, I've got to get through this year. After this year is over, I have other prospects that I can move on to, but for now, this is what I've got to do, and I've just got to stick with it until the year is over. And May 20th was not just the last day of school, it was the last day of post-planning. So it was the last day that there was any, it was, I was gone. I left the building for the last time that day, because I wasn't coming back. I already had, like I said, things set up for me at another job that was much more palatable. So on that day, on May 20th, 2005, I think it was a Friday. What I clearly remember is it was the day that Revenge of the Sith was released. And I remember after doing my time at post planning, leaving that building for the very last time, driving to the movie theater that was in that town where I was working to see a matinee of Revenge of the Sith, and I just it was like it had it left an imprint in me. I think I can't think of the movie Revenge of the Sith, and I won't get into how I feel about the movie or the prequels or anything like that here, the Star Wars prequels. I tend to be a defender of the prequels, but even though I do think they're inferior to the original trilogy, but that's getting a little too into the weeds. But I just remember sitting in the movie theater watching the movie. Star Wars having at the time having this primordial kind of connection to me, and just being the being allowed to be taken away and being totally relaxed and totally like I did it, I made it through, and now I'm watching this movie of a series that I loved that's the continuation of a story that I loved as a child, and it's a very, very good memory. And I remembered May 20th after that. Now, several years later, fast forward to May 20th, 2016, I went in for this was a day where I went in for an operation. Uh, I got surgery, facial surgery. I'm not going to go into detail about it. But suffice to say, it was it was it was insisted that this surgery would be something that would be good for me to get to do. Perhaps not uh, life saving per se, but still something that was needed, that was necessary, and that might, you know, even though there wasn't any immediate peril, it was something that would uh, that was needed to cut off the, you know, to bring an end to a possible problem. That's all I'll say. Something that could have become a problem. And when I look back now, I wonder if I really needed that surgery at all. I will say that ever since the day that I got that surgery on my face and on my neck, you can still see the wounds here, or maybe you can't. I don't know. I get people telling me that they don't see them at all, and that's good, I guess. But you know, the incisions are still there, and I think you can see them in my face at times, or I see them, and you know, I'm somewhat self-conscious about them. But more than that, I ever since that surgery, the last 9 years, things have been different for me. It's been like I've lived in a different body. I have had chronic pain, and I don't want to overstate it. I don't talk about this much because I really don't want it to become what defines me, and I don't want to be a woe is me kind of person. I don't want to overstate my condition, because I'm pretty much able to do everything that I was able to do before. But there has been this lingering pain, this lingering discomfort ever since I got my face and neck cut on, and I was given no heads up that such a thing would happen. The surgeon didn't tell me. Nobody affiliated with the hospital told me that the surgery might have complications, and so. But once it was like once I was lying there post surgery, and I felt different, and I felt this discomfort. It felt like a permanent thing. It felt like something I was just going to have to deal with for the duration, and so far that's proven to be the case. Now, I am able to medicate for it, and that helps. And so I don't want to overstate the dire. You know, when you hear chronic pain, you might think of something much more dire than what I'm talking about here. But it's been significant enough, it's been preoccupying enough that it's basically made me feel like a different person. And like a person, before that, I just didn't have to think about, will I have pain today? How do I deal with the pain today? What's gonna help with the pain? Will the medication kick in? What days can I skip the medication? What days am I definitely gonna need the medication? That kind of stuff. And I'm somebody who doesn't like to rely on. I like to be independent. I don't like to be to feel like I'm, uh, you know, like I'm in need, or like I'm, uh, so it's been a difficult adjustment. It's been a difficult transition, and that's partly why I don't talk about it. I mean, I don't talk about it for a lot of reasons, but that's one of them. So I feel that this was meant to happen, and we all have wounds in our lives, right? Whether physical or psychical, things that affect us. And this again, like I said, it made, there was a clear demarcation. There was me, life that I lived up through May 20th, 2016, when I got this surgery. And then there was the life that I've been living afterwards. And even though I'm not debilitated, I can go out and do things on my own. I'm independent. You know, it's not like I'm in a wheelchair or debilitated in those kinds of ways. It still is something that is preoccupying enough that it has altered my mindset of my day-to-day life, my day-to-day living. So, two memories of May 20th. One, a very pleasant memory. The other, a less pleasant, but still significant, because I do think I was meant to carry this burden, to whatever extent it's a burden. Again, I don't mean to overstate things, but I think it was placed on me for a reason. And also, and like, when I think about the way the world has gone crazy, you know, it was starting to go crazy already. Things were starting to get really, really strange and uncomfortable, even back in 2015. But in 2016, I think, you know, it really took off, and it hasn't stopped yet. It's been pretty weird for the last, I would say last decade, but definitely since 2016. Things have been weird. Things have gotten kicked up to a new level of, you know, and I guess if you're aware, if you've lived your life, if you've lived a significant portion of your life, if you're on the older side, as I am, then you remember the before time. You remember when things were less intense, less weird, less divisive, less like, you know, we're hovering on the edge of an abyss, less like, I don't know, anything is possible. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? You know, so my chronic discomfort has been a sort of emblem, a psychical emblem, a physical emblem of this psychical transformation. The world has been wounded, and I know it seems grandiose for me to say. I'm not saying as I go, so goes the world. I am saying that I think there was a reason. I don't pretend to know what the reason was, but there was some reason why I was given this burden at that time, and it's part of what I'm working through. And so that's what I decided to talk about this today, because this is the 9th anniversary. 9th anniversary of my surgery, and the 20-year anniversary of my liberation from teaching remedial English at a Georgia public school and seeing Revenge of the Sith on its opening night. There you have it. Do with that what you will.